I am noticing that everything that is being done, everything is transcendent, whether it is right at that moment or later on, or scriptures that are being fulfilled, and we do as he told us on Sunday's message. Sunday's message, what a beauty, oh my. When he said you will see things happening, make a list and check it off. And we here said, making a check mark. This is already fulfilled, this one's already fulfilled, this one's already fulfilled. It is so beautiful to see the fulfillment of what was spoken and prophesied, that the prophet saw from afar, and you see it there live and in full color. And to top it off, being the one that is carrying that out and fulfilling it also. Notice all this work. You will see, this place will be of so much help on that time. He told me, prepare it well, but I never thought of the roof. From below, it looked fine. But when you got down to the nitty-gritty, there is where we discovered many things. Because when we had the meetings here, we had certain drops. And there were some things that were, you could see the purlins a little bit, but we went investigating and the roof was delicate. We moved out and continues with the work in the tent, in the Great Tent Cathedral. And then I said, let us get the materials to have them. The material was purchased, zinc sheets for an area, right? Edwin calculated how much was an area first. Okay, let us start slowly. But then when they got down to the nitty-gritty and saw that the roof was actually fragile, then we have to start working on it, so that this auditorium would also be properly finished. Any country would want an auditorium like this one. It's 200 wide, 500 long. It's a quarter of the size of the big one we have now. And he told me to prepare that auditorium well, because you will need it. And every time he spoke to me, he said, you will need it. You will use it. It's going to be too small for you. Do things the way you see it fit, at your convenience. He focused everything to me. But at that time, we didn't understand many things. Until, notice, he finished his days on earth, God takes him, and then we ask ourselves, and to whom shall we go? Wait, here we have to see and to find the successor, because God must always have a successor. God cannot accomplish his work without an instrument. A brief video was prepared where the guys, Edwin, and we see the guys working on the roof. So, along with what we just talked about, we can include it in the video, so that the video that was prepared can be presented with the work that is being carried out. And furthermore, although most of the staff is here, some works are still being done there on the western ground, which is the parking lot, where we are working with the drainage system, the sanitary system, and also the pipes for the electric lines for the poles. In other words, works are also being done there. But the focus now in this month is this one, because the hurricane season has already begun, and being the way it is, held up against the Hurricane Maria. Nothing came loose, right? So, it is a good building, it's well built. And that is why this building is being prepared. Let's go on with the video. The continuation of the video that was prepared, so that the brethren can see the work that is being carried out in the removal of the zinc sheets and the bad purlins. In other words, removing the sheets and some purlins that were found corroded, and the installation of new purlins and the new zinc sheets. Well, may God bless you and keep you all, and continue on with the video. Well, we are here on the roof area of the old building, where we used to gather before the Great Tent Cathedral. We are replacing these sheets, these plates, because over the years, they deteriorated with the passing of hurricanes Irma, Maria, and previous hurricanes. This building was built in the 80s, early 80s. And since it's been around for so long, it deteriorated quite a bit. That is why we decided to replace it and install the pieces that are. Not all the purlins that are there or the metal beams are damaged. We have some parts in good condition. So we're replacing those that are badly corroded, and those that are in average conditions, we've been reconditioning them. They are being sanded, painted, and put back in good condition to later install the sheets on top. Well, we have the largest brigade from the Great Tent Cathedral, and it's working here. Because having a 50-foot sheet of galvanized metal at this height, and with the wind we have, at least we need 4 to 5 people to move it. So there always have to be 6 to 7 people up there. And down below, we have the people who are organizing the sheets that are going to be raised. And 3 to 4 people are always needed. That is why so many people are needed up here. So, as we're bringing them up and the boats are being screwed in, we all climb up to speed up the work, because this work is quite slow and laborious. And we try to have the most of them up here installing screws. The building will take, at the measurement that we have, which are 50-foot sheets, we use 2 sheets to cover 100 feet on each side. So we're talking about 680 50-foot sheets and approximately about 40,000 screws that are being installed. That screw is a screw that comes with a rubber that prevents water from getting between the sheet and the head of the screw. Well, first to assess, we came up here and check the danger areas, because there are areas where you can't even walk because you may fall down. And we came and identified the areas that are very bad and marked them with some little cones that you will see here, which are orange. And we painted the area so that the guys know that they cannot stand on that area. But when we are working, we are careful. We look out for each other so we don't have an accident up here. After they installed this sink or these sheets, they put this treatment on them, which is danosa. And this treatment uses tar, and you have to peel it off of the entire length of the building. And this building is 500 by 200 feet. In other words, we have to go by sections, taking out, detaching these sheets one by one, and then to lift them up, throw them to the other side, and carry them together to a corner, an area where we can then bring it down with the crane. And then after we remove that sheet, we go up and check which purlins are good. We identify the good ones and we mark the ones that will be removed. And I think that we have removed about a quarter of them from each section that we have cleansed. In other words, it's more or less a quarter of the purlins that are being assembled new. Because there is an area where the skylights or acrylic sheets were at, and water was leaking throughout the whole building through them. And that is why that purlin, always in the whole building, had to be changed. That purlin had to be replaced. And those that were not removed and can be fixed, they are painted, polished, and the rust is removed, and paint is applied. And after all the purlins are replaced, and the structure is like this as you see in it, clean, there the installation begins. There is a group at the bottom which is organizing how many sheets are going to be raised, since they are 50-foot sheets. Then this crane was prepared with this bar to be able to lift them up. Around 6 to 8 of them are brought up, depending on how far the crane is from the building. And they're brought up, stored up here, and here there's a group already installing the sheets, while the other group is still downstairs preparing the next ones. We put on each joint what we call in Spanish gum. It is an adhesive strip which is used to prevent water from seeping in between irons. Now, when the sheets are being raised, there is a group that already knows how to work with them. They are organized. Each board that is raised is marked first. Only one screw is installed to speed up the process. Then when we have the area that we're going to work on, which we are making spaces of 100 feet, then when you're done installing them all, you remove the adhesive strip plastic cover, which joins each sheet. Then we put a straight string on the roof to mark straight lines and start installing the zinc sheets straight. We're making 100-foot spaces on each side. We marked an area on the east side. We removed 100 feet. We covered that area, and then we moved those same 100 feet on the west side to move along evenly. And so we're moving on from side to side until now I think we are halfway across the building. Once the sheets, all the bolts are finished, we install what we call the water channels, the downspouts, and also the extractor areas. We remove them to make new ones because they were in poor condition. And then it will be 10 extractors that are mounted up here to remove heat from the building. But that's done last when the entire roof is finished. Then we will connect all the extractors. And we hope to have everything done in the upcoming months.